And don't be too loud. That's a big one.
That's a huge one, actually.
It's one that, that a lot of people that they'll turn up and it's, you'll be playing in a bar and people want to talk to each other and stuff and they still want to listen to you, and you've got to get that balance of being able to create a good vibe, get the sound right, but not overbearing.
My name is Nick Di Gregorio and welcome to the Tiny Vinyl Sessions. For me, the best part about music has always been off stage. It's been playing with other musicians in practice rooms, talking about life and comparing notes, just trying to get better. My intention is trying to bring you into that experience, whether you're a musician that just misses talking shop with other musicians and wants to listen in, or audience members that wants a better insight into what it's like to be a musician. It's crazy at the moment how fast the industry is changing and how music creation is changing. And my goal to become a professional musician was always steeped in wanting to practice music every day and play with other musicians. That was always the main thing. And these sessions bring me back to that original goal. So some exciting news is that we've been partially funded by the Flying Arts Alliance, which is a Queensland organisation that supports the arts in regional Australia. Their support has made these sessions more viable in the next few months. I also just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's donated so far to the Tiny Vinyl Sessions. I appreciate it so much. It means the world that you'd even consider donating. So today's session is with Chris Booroff. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Thank you again so much to Paddy Shenanigans for having us. If you're around Airlie Beach and want to go check them out, you'll end up there at the end of the night anyway. There's always great bands playing there to the wee hours of the morning. We're going to kick off the session with a tune called Skin by Hans Williams.
Well, you walk with no insight, walk with no chance of knowing where you go. But I don't mind, that's why I take this road. And home chases my blood round, curls up my ears now. With every other smile, I push my shame down. We don't mind, 'cause under my skin, where you hide, tearing me apart. One piece at a time, walk in the shadow of my own pride. So I wait for my heart to fall, wait for your word to go. With every other smile, wrapped up in alcohol. We're fine. So where is my love? You got it tangled up, poised up with anger blood. When I feel you creeping in, that's when I give it all away. Take my voice and my name, 'cause under my skin, where you hide, tearing me apart. One piece at a time, walk in the shadow of my own pride. Under my skin, where you hide, tearing me apart. One piece at a time, walk in the shadow of my own pride.
I was pretty happy with that one.
Yeah.
You happy with that one?
I mean, yeah, I've messed up one little lyric. Sweet.
That's it. Man, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you being here. How did you feel?
Yeah, great. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just the sound quality in the headphones is just nice. You know,
Much different to like
a live sound that I'm used to.
fighting a speaker.
Yeah.
We were talking about red light syndrome before. Like, were you feeling a bit like pressure?
Yeah, a little bit. I feel relaxed because it's you guys,
Yeah.
my mates, and we're in a comfortable place. You know, like it's pretty chill, but
It is very chill.
there's moments where it's like you feel a bit of pressure, but that almost gives you a bit of adrenaline
Yeah.
to put into the music, and I think that came
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Yeah,
nice.
I always find that like in rehearsals, I'll be like messing around and like being like, "Am I actually going to play like this on the thing?" And then all of a sudden, I'll get on the thing. I'm like, "Oh, okay, the little noodles and stuff, they make more sense." I don't know when that little bit of pressure's there.
Yeah.
It's like the balance between unpressured situations and really high pressure.
Yeah.
I don't work well at that top end either, like the high pressure, but the low pressure. I feel like I play worse, but it's like that middle ground. So I don't know. How do you feel? Do you feel
Well, I think that as well. I think like there's kind of a middle ground going on here, and you can kind of tap into it and not tap into it, and like you've almost got to control it a little bit. Like, I want to kind of feel this adrenaline, but I don't want to do too over the top, so I'm going to bring it back and still be nice and chilled out.
Yeah.
But not too chilled out.
It's like a little motor underneath.
And then if you get it right, then it just works, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about it too much, it doesn't work.
Yeah, totally. But no, I think we did well today. There were so many random little things that kept happening.
Well,
like,
yeah, always the case. That's probably breaking strings.
Yeah. Breaking strings.
People coming in.
Two breaking strings.
Two broken strings. My heavy-handed playing.
It's like my poor guitar in the Airlie Beach sun.
That's it. Yeah,
that'll do it. It just snaps. They're pretty fresh strings as well, so I don't understand why that's going on.
No, we got through it. It was good.
Yeah, no, and I think
good takes.
Good choices for songs. Like, how did you come across these ones?
And these songs. So I've been getting into a bit of. I know they weren't country music. Well, one of them was, but I've been getting into a lot of country and folk music and rock and blues, and these songs I've just got a Spotify playlist, you know, and these songs just get suggested to me, and I listen to loads of songs that get suggested, and those particular three, and they really stuck out, and I've been really listening to them and playing them, and they're not well-known songs, they're not songs that everyone knows, but I pull them out at gigs, and it goes down pretty well. So
it's pretty tasty. I don't know why. Now they're stuck in my head because good.
They work then.
It's one of the benefits of doing this is like you go deep on some random stuff that you wouldn't normally go to. So I've been finding it's really beneficial to be doing this and working on harmonies during the choruses and stuff. And just cool. I have a few things to ask you, so don't let me forget. I want to make sure that I want to ask you about Melbourne and the difference between, because you went from here to Melbourne and you
been back and forth. Yeah,
you've been back and forth, and you've also, like, what impresses me is when people go to new places and they set up a whole career there, being up here, and I met you, and then all of a sudden venues in Melbourne opened up to me because you had the connections to those places. Like, sometimes those things just happen when you meet people, and it's weird that it's happened all the way up in North Queensland to be able to go somewhere where I felt to go back down to Melbourne and be able to gig because of the connections that you make in a random place. So, like, how did you go from gigging here, going down to Melbourne, and then hustling gigs there, and then coming back up here?
Well, I started when I first moved to Australia from the UK 12 years ago, and I went straight to Melbourne, and I started busking, and I started getting in with open mic nights and getting a few gigs, and I made quite a good network of people during that period, but I still wasn't gigging loads back then. And then I came up here and sort of straight into full-time gigging. That's what Airlie Beach is like. There's a big demand for music, so I kind of went straight into it and was here for about 4 years doing all kinds of different stuff, playing in bands and solos and all sorts. And then when I moved back to Melbourne, I kind of felt like I had a lot more experience and I had a lot more professionalism, so I kind of went back to Melbourne with a lot more confidence and kind of went in guns blazing. I did have some contacts from what I'd made before. I mean, originally when I first got there, I didn't know anyone, but I'd made some contacts. I'd had a few contacts down there that I'd made up here in that 4 years as well, similar to
because people come up here and then you meet them.
And a lot of musos do come up here and traveling, and they've got the connections in the cities, and I've I've met musicians up here that have hooked me up with gigs in Adelaide and in Brisbane, you know, and in Melbourne. Melbourne's good because, you know, there's a big demand for it as well. There's a lot of work. It's different to here in Airlie Beach. Airlie Beach has live music 7 nights a week in most venues, you know, whereas in the city, you know, you're kind of looking Thursday to Sunday. So there's less of a, you know, you can't sort of gig whenever you want. You've got to kind of just keep it to the weekends. But, you know.
But I suppose, actually, I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. Sometimes they charge more. Sometimes they charge
Well, that's it. You know, there's probably more opportunity for bigger stuff down there as well. So, but there's more competition, you know. So there's a lot of different factors. I moved back up here about 3 or 4 years ago. Just kind of missed it up here, and a lot of things are going down in Melbourne. You know, I won't get into that, but like that affected the music scene down there a lot. And I moved back up here, and you know, it's always been a great place for me. And you know, as you know from Musos, because there's an abundance of work. There's lots of different kinds of gigs to play. There's lots of other musicians to play with. And you know, after spending so many years here, over the years, I've put some roots down, and it just feels like home. So
well, I remember because I met you when you came back up. So that's the first time I met you. Like you hear about people's names way before you meet them, and then like and we just I got on with you. Really, so
we hit it off straight away.
That's it. It was like and do you find that like is it just more travel in Melbourne? Is that the main thing that was different? Because like here you know,
well, that's it. Minutes, and I did think that, you know, you kind of standard. I'd be driving 40 minutes to a gig a lot of the time, you know. Go down the peninsula, or because I lived southeast, I lived sort of St Kilda, so you know, I was getting gigs down in Mornington, which is a good hour sort of.
I used to live in Mornington.
It's nice gigs down, and then if you get gigs on the north side, it's, you know, if you're driving, it's another, you know, it's still 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So
I find the cover scene is more in the, like, from what I continually hear from people who are working in Melbourne and yourself, and like the scene that I see is like that south side is more.
I think so, it's a bit more of a kind of demand of just entertaining people rather than being artistic, whereas the north side of Melbourne, there's a lot more kind of creativeness and, you know, original music, and there's a lot more the venues in the north side are kind of catered to it more, and the kind of people that come out are more interested in seeing something new and different, whereas in the south and south side of Melbourne, it's a bit more like, you're playing to people that are just there and they just want to be entertained, so you kind of play more covers. And
it's
similar to what it's like up here.
It's a bit more, you know? That's a bit closer to here. Like you don't get the more artsier side up here. It's a bit harder. It's
more tourism than arty.
Exactly.
Instead of two kind of thing.
So, and is it the main reason that you, like, one of the big reasons you came back up here, is it the ease of which you can balance gig life with other things because you're not doing it, or is it just because, you know?
I mean, at the time I just felt it was right to move back here, but I think up here you could probably balance things a bit better because you have more options as to when you can play, you know. So it's like, all right, if you want to take your weekends off, you can, you know. And if you but at the same time, I find it's more demanding up here, you know, and you tend to burn out, and it's very easy to take too much on, and you know, get to the point where you're kind of playing music all the time that you kind of need to, you know, I don't want to say you don't get sick of it, but it kind of takes a lot of the excitement away. So it's good to kind of watch that. In later years, I tend to play a lot less. Like when I was younger, in my 20s, I'd just smash it out 8 gigs a week.
Well, it's interesting because like you're the thing that you don't realize is that your voice takes the biggest toll. Like we actually originally were booked on a Monday here, and then we've done it on a Tuesday, and both of us were, mainly because I had to shift around another session, but both of us were like, oh, that's good, we get a day off to, because even yesterday I wouldn't have been able to do the harmonies because I had 6 days on of like gigging, and then I was like, whoo, and I was like, couldn't get that. Okay. And I was practicing yesterday being grateful that we had moved the day. So it's such a weird thing to be worried about or concerned about, because most people aren't concerned about that, because, you know, the maybe not myth, but the common consensus is it's hard to do music full time. But when you are doing music full time, you're now balancing your vocal health with everything all the time in a very drastic way. Like
I think we would have been all right yesterday, but I think we're so much better doing it today. You know, like I find after the weekend, what did I do? 5 gigs this weekend from Thursday to Sunday, and you know, on Monday I'm always in the same state. I'm just tired and just everything moves slowly, and it's good to have that day off. So
Yeah.
I think it was good to rejuvenate and come in feeling fresh.
Oh, clap. Sorry. There.
If I were the devil, the first thing that I'd do is I'd come off like I ever gave a damn about you. Let you catch a peek before your greatest desire, and I'd watch the flames in your eyes burn like hellfire. Find all the wolves in the land, and I'd make them fight each other tooth and nail and hand to hand. Find all the sheep, make them stir up the pot, 'cause once the wolves have killed each other, sheep are what I want. The devil walks among us, friends, I know this is true. Well, I don't know if he's red, and I don't know if he's blue. The one thing that I know needs to take a look around. If I were the devil, this world would be my playground. There's a place that thorny crown of my fur around. A light shining on tears of joy, yelling from the crowd. I wanna brainwash some parents to not have the world, but be in every schoolhouse lecturing little boys and girls. The devil walks among us, friends, I know this is true. But I don't know if it's me, and I don't know if it's you. But one thing that I know needs to take a look around. If I were the devil, this world would be my playground. For my final acts, I tell you what it be, and have everyone so medicated they could never see. But clover hooves a horrid head be on the skies. The best part of it all is they comply with their demise. The devil walks among us, friends, I know this is true. Well, I don't know if it's red, and I don't know if it's blue. But one thing that I know needs to take a look around. If I were the devil, this world would be my playground. If I were the devil, the world was mine to see. Well, I'd witness all the atrocities that have probably frightened me. So I'd run back home with a story to tell all my demon friends that I always preferred hell.
That's a pretty good one.
Nice. I'm happy with that one.
Happy with that one?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's good.
That was a good take.
What take was that?
That was 3
That was 3.
or 4.
3. I think it was
It
3.
was No, I think it was.
a third official
There was
one.
1. Then there was. I think it was 4. I don't know, man.
I lost track. I'm like, I think it was the third one because we almost made it through the broken string one.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was almost one.
Yeah.
Hey, this is just a quick interruption to say thank you so much for being here. If you want to help keep these podcasts going and support, there's a donation at tinyvinylcollective.com. And if you have any questions or queries, please send me a message. Anyway, we'll get back to Chris. And you said your professionalism improved when you came up here.
Massively. Yeah.
Is that because I know that because you're not originally from Australia?
No.
You're originally from England.
Correct.
South, right?
Yes. Near London.
But you weren't gigging full time there.
No, not as a soloist. No, I was gigging quite a lot. When I was studying music in Southampton, I was playing in about 3 bands.
Were you in Southampton? Is that
I was in Southampton.
Cool.
Yeah. Southampton Solo University I went to. And I was playing trumpet in this punk band, and I was playing guitar in this wedding big sort of soul band, and then I was playing acoustic in this little folk duo, and I was just kind of coming to be a soloist. I was just kind of dabbling with playing and singing by myself. So, I did a lot of band stuff, and it never paid very well, so I was always working other jobs and stuff. But when what was the actual start of the question?
Just the difference between, because I remember talking to you, the professionalism and then coming from England.
Well, and even then, like when I went to Melbourne, I was busking and I was playing and I was getting a few gigs, but I was doing a lot of original stuff and doing just whatever I wanted to do. And when I came up here, it was kind of like I knew a few people, and I was quite looked after, and I got given quite a bit of work, but it was very much thrown into this other kind of you're entertaining covers musician now, and there was a lot of pressure, and I was at the start I was just like, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. But after 4 years of just doing it constantly, I kind of just had a good system and a good set list, and it just learned a lot more about sound and how to make sort of sound better, and what songs work in different environments, and reading the room, and just and how you dress, and using proper equipment, and just acting professionally. And I learned a lot of that from the guys that were up here as well, that that I was working with.
Yeah, doing a lot of sound as well.
I'm doing a bit of sound and stuff as well. Yeah,
it makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Oh man, massively. And when I went back to Melbourne that second time, I was like confident. I was like, you book me, I'm gonna nail it.
Yeah.
My mindset was I want to try and get as many gigs as possible, and I want each venue to rebook me a second time, at least. And I did. Every one I got booked again, because I was like, right, if I go in and do follow these rules that I got for myself, like anything, and and I was received well, and had plenty of work, and it was great.
What if you were gonna tell me those rules? What would you say?
5 rules. Dylan Hammond told me this.
Dylan Hammond 5 rules.
5 rules. I
love that.
If I remember, I usually say the same one twice, but you turn up on time.
Yeah.
It's a bit simple rules, you know what I mean? But you
common decency.
Yeah, literally. But when you're playing music, you get a bit kind of in your head, and you think, follow these rules and these kind of gigs, and you'll be fine. So you turn up on time, dress presentably, play songs that people know, in these kind of gigs. Don't get too drunk.
Yeah, keep it on the medium.
Yeah, and don't be too loud. That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
It's one that that a lot of people that they'll turn up, and it's you'll be playing in a bar, and people want to talk to each other and stuff, and they still want to listen to you, and you've got to get that balance of being able to create a good vibe, get the sound right, but not overbearing.
It's funny that I think that one is often overlooked, and is overlooked by maybe new musicians into it, and also venues. So I think that a big thing that a venue should do is not place a table directly next to you in
Absolutely
any
right.
That you need at least I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 meters minimum to start the sound dispersing more. And I find that a lot of venues, they shove you in it. They have never had music before. They shove you in a corner, and then we'll get complaints around you. But really, you need to have that a little bit of space, and also be quiet. Obviously, we got to play to the room. Yeah. And I'm always if I can hear what they're saying, if I can hear what the person closest to me is saying, then I'm the right volume. Or near me. If they're audible, and I can basically eavesdrop on them, which I try not to do too much, but
can't help it sometimes.
Yeah,
that's the problem. A lot of venues you'll get put in, and they're not set up for live music. Yeah. This venue, for instance, is set up amazingly for live music. Stages and
double
sound everywhere. It's the best. It's really good. Yeah. But a lot of places, you'll turn up with your PA system, which is sometimes just one speaker, and they'll plunk you in the corner, and then, it's just we'll just put the music over there, and you've got to get with your speaker. It's got to be loud enough so the people in the back can hear you, but not too loud so the people in the front are overbed. And that's a tough one. And it's very, I'll find walking into a new venue like that, sometimes I'll take 5 minutes and really just stand there and just look at the room and put the speaker there. Oh, nice. You kind of get good at it, and you kind of feel it and vibe it.
I found a little trick as well, which is the lower in volume I go, the more bass I put into it, so that it sounds warmer. Because do you know how there's that there's a curve, I can't remember, it's an audible curve that we all have that's our ear prefers. Yep. And so I noticed that as I go down in volume, the bass disappears, so it gets more trebly, and then I start pushing more in those quieter gigs.
Yeah.
And I noticed that if I start rolling the bass up overall and bring that bass up, it creates like a warmer sound, so you get a fuller sound in your immediate environment, and it create like you're more balanced out there.
Yeah, and the volume is still low. I think because you're using a different frequency. You know, when people are talking, they're talking on a certain frequency, and if you're playing at that same frequency putting out, then it's going to drown them out. Whereas if you're then putting, you're boosting your bottom frequencies, like the bass will still be loud, but they can still hear themselves talking.
Yeah.
And I find like go on.
Oh no, sorry, I interrupted you. You find what?
I find like I do that as well. I turn the bass up quite a lot, and I'll have moments in the song where I'm just kind of playing percussive acoustic with like just the bass, and I'm just letting the bass notes ring out a bit. So you're kind of getting this kind of low end sound with just a bit of rhythm, and like it's still loud, but it feels kind of quiet and like
it's pillowy.
Not as full on in your face, but it still has that groove that kind of makes people go. And I kind of drop into that quite a lot, and then you just sing over the top, and you kind of got this drum and bassy minimalist backing with your voice, and then you bring it all back in, and it's a good dynamic. I think
I love that. That's nice. It's like it's almost like you're making room for the speech.
Yeah.
it's like probably how composers work in the sync world and stuff, where they like create a better sound, let the audience be the instrument, like and then even when you're singing, you're definitely going to be higher than them most of the time anyway. Like, so the England thing I wanted to ask is like the difference between professionalism of going from, because you went to school in Southampton, studied music, but in contemporary course?
No.
Oh no, trumpet.
No, not even. Not even. It was like a rock music course. It was called popular music performance. It was the first year they ran it as well. But it was, they were teaching us to do this kind of stuff. They were teaching us to be, covers musicians and play popular music. And I learned a lot there. It was great, and it was a really good kind of creative hub. Lots of other people doing the similar things. There were lots of kind of there was just lots going on in Southampton. I'm not from Southampton. I'm from somewhere called, it's near Watford. But I lived in Southampton for about 4 years and studied there. But there's 2 universities there, and my university is quite creative based. There's a big art department, big music department, and then a big sort of business department and industry. So there was lots of like electronic music courses and music promotional courses and business music management courses. So there are all these other students who are doing industry related subjects, and you kind of you work with them. You're just like, we want to do a recording project, cool. So we'd go and find the recording students, and
that's actually really good, because
it was quite cool like that.
I found that the Australian ones, they didn't cross over as much. Like I really learned about sound and all those technical elements that you don't realize you need until you're doing them on the gig. Like I didn't even know much about my guitar amp back in the day. Didn't know anything about like really what treble meant. And until I got into mixing and live sound and doing a lot of things on the gig, that's when I really learned that stuff. But we did have recording like there was a whole recording thing at WAPA where I went, but I just find we didn't really utilize those different things. But I noticed that in the UK they do a bit more.
It was particularly like that where I studied, but at the end of the day as well, like you're all students, so you don't 100% know what you're doing. And that's something I found as well, is like you come and it's like, it's really cool, we didn't get in, and we're like, we're still learning how to do it, and they're still learning, but it was cool. But even from that, like the bands I kind of joined in that period, that wasn't really to do with of course that was just sort of being in the scene. There was a really cool scene there. There was loads going on. It was quite a small city centre, so everything was quite close by, and there was loads of acoustic nights. There was a really cool live music venue that had bands come through. Some of the greatest British bands had played there before they made it, and there's a few venues like that, and then lots of events and stuff. There was just lots going on.
So then what was the difference between what you learned there and then like the experience that you gained just working? Is it just mainly to do with like crowd control then?
Yeah, so it's funny, I've related to like when you're learning to drive, like what people said to me is, you're learning to drive, you learn to pass your test, And then once you get out on the road, then that's when you really learn how to drive, you know. And like I'd kind of learn all this, like, right, this is how you play this style of music, and this are the kind of good songs, and this is how you play in a band, and this is how you kind of do this. And I was like, I know what I'm doing, you know. Like, and I got out here, and the amount I've learned since then to now is, you know, it's like so much more. Just so many little things, like working with crowds and working with, like, you know, feeling the vibes in the room, and working with venues and managers and getting sound right. And you know, and it's like I'm quite good at it now because I've been doing it for so long, and I think like, you know, to learn all that stuff, it takes a long time, and it's a, you know,
it's like an absorption thing.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
You can't,
yeah.
I noticed it when I was like encouraging younger people to get out and do it, because you tell them, I think I put too much pressure on them to be like, you really need to learn the mixing desk. And then I go, fuck, did I learn? When did I know about it? I'm like, actually, it took me probably like 4 or 5 years into playing gigs professionally before I was doing.
And it's hard to learn it without actually doing it. I find with mixing and stuff, like I kind of would always look at it and be like, yeah, I kind of get it. It wasn't actually until I started mixing myself and getting into it. And it was like, oh, okay. And then you really learn sort of how to do it. I find the same, like I'll play with musicians who are quite new into it as well. And like, and you notice it's like, oh, you kind of just expect people to just know exactly what to do, and they don't. And you're like, okay, well, you got to work through that, you know. But I was like that too, you know.
Exactly.
And it's just, these things just come with, you know, years of hard yards and
bitter experiences.
Yeah.
Painful experiences.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Do you find that you've maintained your network down in Melbourne as well, like, or do you find that it just drifts because everyone moves away?
Yes, no, I mean, like, I could go down, I could move back there, and I think I'd have plenty of work. You know, Melbourne's kind of a place where, you know, people stay there, you know, like up here it's transient, you know, people move, so you kind of have to keep your foot in the door, because if you leave it 2 years, you come back, all the managers are different from the venues, you know, a lot of the time. But in Melbourne, I think the people that are there that are, you know, the booking, there's quite a few agencies I work through, you know, which are just run by other musicians and stuff, but I'm still in good contact with them. And
but when you're working with agencies, they're like, you know, the only reason you have to do a good job, so it means that you've done a good job, you've stayed with the agent, like
exactly.
that, and they know that you can turn up and do the gig.
That's it. Yeah. So that can be good. But I think I have maintained a pretty good network down there.
Said drinking was unholy, so Lord, won't you take me to the creek? And I still keep it with me, tucked under all the memories, your voice echoing throughout those trees. And through unfavorable weather and holes in the leather, these boots still covered in tar. Well, I'm still praying for the heavens and hoping for them sevens, but hope only gets a man so far. Scheme of love lays heavy on my heart, and love is tough, loneliness is twice as hard, and I carry that about everywhere I go. And they say pressure makes diamonds, how the hell am I still cold? Well, I've seen heaven without dying, met the devil without trying, and they both seem to wanna talk to me. But I'm all out of luck now, and my dreams aren't worth a buck now. Well, it's tough trying to land on my feet. The scheme of love lays heavy on my heart, and love is tough, loneliness is twice as hard, and I carry that about everywhere I go. And they say pressure makes diamonds, how the hell am I still cold? when you told me it was over, so I left. Need me when I told you I'm on the better side of sober, trying to find a four-leaf clover, get me out of this mess. Skinny love flames heavy on my heart, and love is tough, the loneliness is twice as hard, and I carry that about everywhere I go. And they say pressure makes diamonds, how the hell am I still cold?
That was a nice.
Right, that was good.
That was a nice take too.
That was a good take too.
Okay. Did you feel a difference between recording and what you normally do, like today? Did you notice a big difference? I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, I do. I noticed it a lot. I was thinking about it a lot because it's a different mindset. The two things, I guess, are like, you know, one, it's just us in here, you know, and it's very focused on me and on you, and you know, and because we're recording it, you know, in your head you're like, okay, well, if I miss a note or I do something wrong, that's going to be on that forever. You know, which it is. Whereas when you're playing live, I kind of like, if you mess something up, first of all, most time people don't notice. Second of the time, if you just act like it never happened, you know, you just carry on and it's gone, it's in the past, it's done, whatever. Yeah, it feels different because you're kind of like, I feel like I'm concentrating a lot more on every note that I'm playing and singing, you know, just to get it right. Whereas in a live gig setting, kind of concentrating more on the vibe. If that makes sense. Like
because the little micro minutiae, it always
doesn't
gets
matter.
lost.
And I almost relax into it. Like sometimes I'll make a mistake and it'll be really obvious. And I'll just be like, and I'll take the time, second there, and then come back in. And you know, for that split second, people are watching like, oh no, what's happened? And then you come back in and everything's okay again. It's like, oh, it's fine, you know. And it's like, and
if anything is more impressive, like people are like more impressed that they catch it. You're like,
yeah, exactly. And I used to, you know, my earlier days, I'd get stressed. Oh no, this, and it would make it kind of, you know, you kind of get into a kind of anxious state while playing. Whereas now I kind of have the mode when something goes wrong, just relax. Even if it's obviously going wrong, just make sure the next bit's. So they're the kind of two things, you know, that's the kind of mindset for playing live. But then in this situation, it's, no, I want to get every little note perfect. And I want to get the vibe kind of sounding good. You know, we did a really good take and it's like, oh, I got one note wrong. It doesn't matter.
It's definitely, it gets anal. Like I find I have those extra layers of conversation. I don't know if you have like, there's mythical beings in my past that pop into my head as I'm playing. I'm like, they wouldn't approve of this. And then I'll like something you play and all of a sudden I've got this like ghost sitting on my shoulder. And I'm like, those people haven't thought about you in probably 10, 15 years, but you still carry around your judgment through their eyes of you. And they probably never thought that to begin with. 100%. But then it's just this weird thing that I've noticed from deciding to do recording as being like, okay, one, it's always okay to make mistakes. Like even if we're recording, it's we think that it's not okay, but it's because there's this consistent pressure to be like, be perfect. And then
you're your own worst critic.
Exactly. And I don't know if you've ever done it where you've been on stage, someone's filmed you and you watched it back, but like, I don't know, I've had both experiences being like, that's horrendous and I'm never showing anyone that. Or I've been like, that was actually okay. And I remember thinking in that take when they were filming, because you immediately know when someone's filming. Like, I don't know if you have this, but as soon as someone starts filming on a gig, I'm always like, you start doing the same thing. Oh, I messed up that note. I don't know.
Exactly right. And that's why I really don't like it when people do, you know, it's like, you nailed it. Because I'm going to be in this vibe of like, okay, it's going to be a bit loose, but it doesn't matter. When you start recording it, you know, it's like, oh, now I've got to concentrate. And I'd always mess up when they pull, you know, when someone pulls the phone out, I'd always mess it up because I'd be like, because they feel the pressure. It's crossing those two worlds.
I definitely find it's like that next layer. It's making the mistakes and being okay with it when it's more permanent. And that's, it's actually scarier than in these situations. We're not reading, we're not doing like those kind of things where it's really arranged. It's kind of not arranged. And it's how we would do it on a gig. And I kind of don't want to ever mess with that unless I'm ever doing this with like people that need to read for whatever reason, whether they're classical musicians or whatever. But I'm kind of fascinated by the fact that you're capturing a live thing in the moment you don't want to mess up a word, and it's like, how much does messing up a word taint the whole thing?
Yeah.
But no one will notice it.
How bad did I mess it up?
Yeah. How bad? How far is the like percentage of messing up?
It's that mindset again. It's like you're saying with the, like a ghost from your past on the show. You start thinking about it, and you're in the take, and we're 2/3 of the way through, and you start thinking like that. And you're like, you've almost got to pull yourself out of it, kind of control it, but then stay relaxed at the same time. It's like what I was saying before about kind of, like using the pressure and the adrenaline or not.
Yeah, exactly,
it's like that. It's like, you start thinking like, no, because that wasn't very good, and this person was thinking it, and it's like you start getting in your own head. It's like, no, just get back and enjoy it and find that headspace. I think it's very much about controlling your headspace, almost in a meditational kind of way. So you just got to find the good space and stay in it. Stay present in it.
But it's like you've got that on the gig because you've been doing it so much. Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It's like you've worked through that process on the gig,
and you're comfortable. You're just you're at work. It's like, I'm back here again.
Yeah, that's it.
And no one's recording.
And that's the thing that I feel is like trying to find that equilibrium on that another stage. Like I don't even think big stages scare me that much anymore in the same way. But if I got it on a big enough stage, in the place where I think that's you can come in through. We're just chatting now, so it's not as important. Almost, we're just in the podcast. No, you're right.
Because I've played on some quite big stages, played with Sunslit on some quite big stages, and something I found was that that really affected the pressure, even just the distance between you and the other people you're playing with. Like you'll be in a band setting in like a smaller venue, and you're right next to each other, and you're really kind of vibing with each other and feeling it from each other, and it's it's great. And then all of a sudden you go and play on a big festival stage, and I'm 5-10 meters away from old mate who's usually right next to me here, and we've got him in the sound and stuff, but it really adds a whole nother level of like the mindset you have to get into. It's a completely different feeling.
And even that space is a huge difference, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I'm just going to say thank you so much for coming on. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
And it's been great.
Yeah. And thank you to Paddy's for having us again.
Thanks, Paddy's.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Appreciate you. I'm excited to do it again in a little while, and maybe get you in one of the band ones and have a bit of a scan. Quick last question. Is there anyone that you would want to see on a Tiny Vinyl session?
Josiah.
Get
him on here.
Yeah, get him on here.
Who else? All of them, all of the crew. You all know who you are.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Do it.
All the Airlie Beach Muso crew.
Yeah, awesome.
Quite like to see Bear Brewer on here. He's got some cool original stuff. I quite enjoy his music. I really enjoyed Simon and Mick. Mick one was really good. Simon's was cool as. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them.
Oh man, thank you so much.
I really, everyone.
It's such a risk to take, like to come and do something so intense in a way. Like it's like a lot. And I appreciate you coming to rehearsal. And it's good. It sounded great song choices. It was a lot of fun. So
awesome. Looking forward to.
Awesome.
Nice. Cool. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
And that is it. Thank you so much again to Chris for coming in and playing. Thank you so much for Paddy's for having us. Thank you to you guys and all the people who donate to this podcast. Really appreciate the support. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.